Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. As usual, I'm your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start this show off the same way we start every show off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, so the fact that you're spending with us truly does mean the world to me. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro. All right, we are back. I think you can tell that I'm not on my normal set. I'm actually on a business trip in Winnipeg. And so, yeah, we've met some really cool people, and we bumped into this local artist, and we kind of voluntold, can we come to your studio and like learn a little bit more about you? And graciously she said yes. So, as you know, I don't introduce my guests because they can do a better job at that. They can do a better job at that than I, sorry. So on that note, can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
Hi, I'm Anastasia Pindera. I'm a visual artist, and I primarily make jewelry as well as wearable sculpture with installation and photography components.
There we go. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about this, so they don't know that we spoke. We spoke for an hour or two, and so we have a little bit of background together now. So first and foremost, how did you get into this in regards to like the metalworking and the painting, and where did that all start for you?
I mean, it started when I was a kid.
Okay.
Me and my brother would paint in our little berets at the kitchen table. And then I went to study political science and sustainability and things like that at Dalhousie. Okay. But I really missed making artwork. So I ended up going to NSCAD University in Nova Scotia to study fine art, and I was going to be a painter. And I randomly took a jewelry class on a whim, and I thought it was just going to be like this super easy elective. But it turned out to be like one of the hardest things I've done. Like, it's very highly technical. I thought I was going to be like stringing beads together and stuff, like what people typically think I do. But it's not. It's not quite that. And then I kind of fell in love with the process. And that's how it started. And so you do a lot of metal work. Like, I went to your website and checked it out. So like, you're wearing some of the earrings that you make right now. Very beautiful. You were wearing them the night that we met you as well. So how did you get into metal work? And like, they can't see it, but offset, like you got ventilation systems going, you got welding tanks. Like, how did you get into welding? So it's not welding, it's soldering that I do. Okay. And technically it's brazing, if you wanted to get all the specifications of it. Okay. Yeah. Well, so soldering is like done, anything below 800 Fahrenheit would be considered soldering. Okay. But for some reason, jewelry people call what we do soldering, even though it's brazing. But there's essentially always a filler metal that's going in. So you'll use like a flux, which keeps the metal clean while you're heating it, because while you're heating it, it's oxidizing and becoming more dirty, and you need it to be clean in order for the filler metal to flow. Right. But yeah, it's just a difference in the temperatures for the most part, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And when you were taking your course to learn how to make jewelry, was that a component of what you learned in the class, or did you kind of just push your boundaries further on your own? So yes, like soldering it's one of the first things you learn kind of thing. So we learned it on a very small scale. So like, my first thing I ever made was a band ring, just out of a simple piece of sheet metal. Okay. And then you could do hollowware, where you're like creating larger forms, like a teapot. Okay. And I did start to push it in the way that I started making these like things that kind of should be welded, because welding, I can't really explain welding, but like you add something metal on top of it, like that metal's heated. So it's rather than when you're brazing, you have to like disperse the heat across all of the metal, which is hard when you're doing something at such a large scale. So I kind of pushed it in that sense, like figuring out how to make my work technically function with the skills that I had. Cool. Now after school, you went on an adventure. You left the country. I did. So where did you go? I went to South America, and I started in Chile, and I went up through Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and then finished in Colombia. Okay, so I know the answer to this question, but what drew you to South America originally? Like, out of all the places in the world that you could potentially go to, why start your adventure there? So one of my best friends from growing up is from Chile. And so she had moved back when we finished school, and I ended up going to visit her, and I I kind of went down south and did like the Patagonia and all that stuff.
Right.
And I fell totally in love with it, along with the fact I had multiple friends from Latin America when I was growing up. So I was kind of always surrounded by Spanish and like reggaeton and all that stuff. So I had always wanted to learn the language. So I decided one day I'd go back and I'd do a big trip where I could learn to speak Spanish and go see the continent. And so I did it because there was no better time than then.
There you go. And you were there for, like, we're not talking about a week or two. You spent a long time there. How long were you in the country in total, or continent in total?
And for about 11 months or so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so what did you do while you were there other from visiting? Did you work? What did you do to keep your time busy, basically?
So I did some different artist residencies and art projects.
Okay.
In Argentina, I did an urban mosaic mural project with a women's shelter. So in the residency, I learned the technique and so on. And a component of that residency was then to do a project. But most of my work is like kind of feminist and conceptual in nature. So the woman I did the residency with helped me find someone that was interested in the project, and we ended up doing it with them. And we did a workshop component with the residents where we made mosaic fragments that were incorporated into the larger mural.
Okay, cool. So so I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I'm somewhat creative but not an artist. So when you're traveling and you're going down there to visit a friend, you have a passion for this continent, how do you find that? Like, how do you start working with people in a medium that you want to be in? Is that something you planned prior to, or you just kind of stumbled upon?
So I don't like to plan trips.
Yeah, you don't seem like that person.
No, not at all. I find like it flows better. Like, it's like if I were to plan a week here, then I wouldn't have gotten, like, if you fall in love with a place, I want to be able to stay there. And I would stay in places for 2 months at a time. But what I used was Workaway, which I believe it's called Workaway, which is a website. And you could do it like even 2 weeks, a week in advance, a couple days in advance, depending on the people. Okay. And on that website, they have all kinds of different stuff all over the world, where it's like you could work on a farm. I worked on a farm in the jungles in Bolivia at one point, and you just hook up with people, post about what job opportunity they have, and then there's some kind of exchange component that happens. So I'm doing work for you, you feed me or house me or whatever that is. Right. So there's some different art, and I mean, I'm an artist, so I wanted to do some art projects. Yeah, and I found that one, which honestly was pretty spectacular. Like, the whole thing all around was like exactly what I would have wanted. Cool.
So you're in South America, you're having a great time, you're finding employment of some sort. Why come back?
I came back.
And why you picked Winnipeg to come back to, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's hear, like, why and this specific in person.
Yeah. So I kind of thought I was going to keep going forever. I have a residency which was supposed to be coming up 2 years ago, but it's been postponed multiple times due to COVID. But I had a residency in Mexico, which is an art and activism residency. And I was going to just keep traveling all the way up to Mexico, which would have been like another 8 months. And I was definitely going to do some like solid volunteer projects, because there was no way, like, hopping around for like over, I don't know, even over 3 months is like incredibly exhausting. So I kind of need to like settle wherever that may be. Okay. But then, I don't know, I was talking with a friend and the idea came up to like surprise my family for Christmas. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And the whole time, like, as I'm on the plane, there is a lot of protests and stuff happening, I think in Bogota and Medellin. Okay. And my dad's like asking the 411 on the situation, and I'm just like going on. And when I surprised him, he's like, so when I was asking you what the heck was going on in Medellin, you were here. Right. I'm like, I mean, I was like on my way here. Right. Yeah. They were very surprised. So that was like, I don't know, you don't have that many opportunities to do that. Right. I mean, not for your family, but like, it's a pretty exciting Christmas present.
No doubt. They probably were pretty excited about it.
Cocky, but it's not.
That's hilarious. So how long ago was that when you made the move back to Winnipeg?
So that would have been just right before COVID, the Christmas before that. Is that 2019? Right. 2019.
And so that's, how long have you been in this awesome facility, this studio that you've like built around yourself here?
So I've been here Since last August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you've been here for a while, so like it was a Christmas present that just like extended how awesome it was.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't planning to stay here. I had all my stuff in a storage locker in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was going to go back there, but I also want to go to Spain and la la la. But then COVID happened. I was living with my mom. I started working at the King's Head, and then then I got laid off, and I'm like, well, what else are you gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna stay living with my mom. Right. Obviously. Yeah. But everything has kind of fallen into place here. Nice. And like the studio is awesome. Winnipeg's like an affordable place to live, and I'm close to family, which honestly I didn't realize how much I had missed it. I've been gone for like 9 years, but it's so nice to have people close by. That's right.
Now, what can you tell us about the art scene here? Like myself and Jay are just exploring, and the people have been lovely, and the food and the environment, it's been amazing. But obviously we're only getting the surface level of that. As an artist, what's the community like here in Winnipeg for somebody who's like in it?
So I left when I was 18, so I feel like I never really got like a sense of the art scene because I wasn't really like in it at that point in time. And it's been a little different, like engaging with it during COVID because there's no openings happening and all that stuff. But I was doing, or I'm just closing up a mentorship program with MAWA. Okay. Where there was a group of 10 mentees and then 10 mentors. My mentor is Trisha Wozni, who also is one of the only, to my knowledge, like jewelry artists in the city. Right. So I got to know a few people there, but like in general, I feel like the art scene is like pretty tight knit. Like everyone's going to know each other. Everyone's going to go to all the openings, you know, and it's pretty intimate in that way, which I think is cool. Yeah. And
you got a good support system around you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's neat. Okay, so you're making this stuff during COVID. How can people find or get in touch with you to potentially support you? May it be like your art or your sculptures or your jewelry. How can people get a hold of you?
So I have, my main platform is Instagram, which is Anastasia Pindera. Okay. You might want to write that one out there. Yeah. I was doing a workshop recently where it was like on marketing and stuff like that. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, you should make your name really short and easy to remember. But I've decided to go with my entire name.
There you go. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, it's working. I feel like Anastasia Pindera is like a famous name. Like it's got that oomph to it.
That's right.
I might as well use it.
There you go. I love it. I like the confidence level. Okay.
I mean, I was given that name, so
yes, you might as well rock it. There you go. So you can find you on Instagram. You also have a website, though.
Yes, I have a website.
So what's the website?
Which is anastasiapindera.com.
Okay, cool. So those are the primary places people can get a hold of you. Yes. And then I'm assuming they can order your stuff, and you'll somehow get it to them globally and or regionally.
Yeah, right now I'm working on like pricing things out, and I'm gonna get either start selling things off Instagram or off my website itself. So that will be happening by December. I think I'll have things up and running, but people could always contact me on either platform to do something on the fly.
Yeah, great Christmas gift.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. So we're at the part of the show where it's completely up to you. You get to do a shameless shout out or plug. So the microphone's on you. Here you go.
Oh, I don't know. Wasn't that my plug?
No, it allows you to plug for your business. Maybe keep plugging your business if you want to, or say hi to your mom or whatever.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
There you go. You said hi to your mom. That's what it's all about. Well, thank you very much for inviting us into your studio. Really, it's been amazing. So, and you didn't have to. So, thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming.
There we go. All right. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world, that's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show, Winnipeg edition. Hopefully you're having a great day. And once again, thank you for tuning in. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time. So, thank you. On that note, have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
What a deadly old way to end another morning show. Later, boss.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.